Hey, Bloodbath, it's Cass here. It's my day today. We're going to talk about my performance at Canada's largest event ever. It was the Edmonton Open. I ended up going 7-1 with Death Guard, and I kind of want to go through some of the rounds with you, what I can remember. It's been a few days after, had a few days rest, time with the family, kind of wound down. But I had a good run. It was an extremely competitive event. It was really cool to see a lot of the top Canadian players showing there, some international players showing up there as well, and the performance that just even the Alberta players put up was pretty impressive. A lot of other top Canadians too showed up and really put some work in. I went with my Death Guard, switched my list a bit, but before we get into that, I do want to mention a couple things. First thing is our sponsor, Fenris Workshop. I ended up seeing them at Edmonton Open. They do all those big tournaments across Canada. They show up, have a shop. Incredible store. They have an online store that you can go on. There's free shipping, I think, over $120. We are an affiliate of theirs. Just down below in the link, go through there. We do get a bit of a kickback. It does help us with the podcast, the studio, and everything else. Go through those guys, shop away. I think Fraser got most of his Emperor's Children Army off there. They also do a great buy sell for used models or even selling used models. They have a great paint selection. I know we can't talk enough about it. We always do in all the podcasts, but check them out. They're big supporters of ours, and we want to share some love for the community here. Secondly, this is a bigger announcement, is we are officially now sponsored by Baron of Dice, and we have a Baron of Dice code. It'll give you 5% off of all purchases. It's Blood Dice 5. The code is just underneath or in the description as well. Do check it out. Baron of Dice. I use Baron of Dice. I think I have one for my sister's army and one for my Death Guard army. I like their themed dice that you can use. They're great. They're balanced. I'm pretty sure a lot of players use it. And you ever see those beautiful matte rounded corner dice that fit perfectly in a tray? The 16 millimeter thick dice. They are awesome. I'm pretty sure PlayOn uses them as well. Check them out. They and then use the discount code there if you guys want to get some Baron of dice. Okay, here's my list. I changed it up a bit since the Hammer Time Kelowna Open. I'll run through it real quick. But first, I wanted to take a moment here and mention that I did actually make Showcase, which is pretty cool. The judges got to, you got to put it aside after round 6 and try to then get it judged, and then you have a potential of winning best overall. So pretty cool that someone likes my bases, I guess. It's it's really the comments that I got. And my pretty cool rado there with all the custom green stuff. Okay, so the list will start off with some chaff. I got 3 units of 10 Poxwalkers. They're great infiltrators. They can take up space on the board. The whole army is sticky with the Verlinberg-Torm detachment, which I think is still the best detachment. You have -1 damage, heal, auto explode, rerolling hits and wound rolls to afflicted units, which is probably the biggest one that you're gonna always use, and the -1 damage. I got Demon Prince leading the way again, so it has the 5 Field of Pain, toughness 12, 6-inch cover, so he's always in what I call perma cover, and the 12-inch bubble for free strat. He also can give lone up when he's near infantry, so having 3 infiltrators is actually pretty good because you can kind of position them on the board where one's behind the wall and one's going forward, that either way, if they kill the forward one, he's still in a lone up position. I got the Rhino. This one's going to carry the 10 Plague Marine squad. I always advise this Plague Marine squad is just way too much damage. Having the all hit rerolls and wound rerolls on afflicted units is absolutely massive. And then equipped it with Playcaster, which gives sustained to all afflicted units. And then crits on 5s and lethals with the Biologus. So you essentially get full hit rolls and wound rerolls. Sustained lethal 5s. As I said before, it's an immense amount of damage. I've you know, when we get into the rounds here, I actually took down a couple Norns in just one activation. Well, 2 activations, that and charging. It's pretty crazy. Mythic Blight Hauler, I think these guys are not so much slept on anymore. They are fantastic. 5 wound level, 90 points. Move at the board. +1 to hit and wound against monsters and vehicles. So you can really do some damage and at least be a little action monkey for 90 points. It's quite effective having such high toughness and a 5 wound vol. More chaff. I've got my cultist there. Or sorry, spawn. Scout 6, move 8. They're my fastest infantry unit anyways. They can really push at the board and spread the contagions where I need them to. In one of my games, I think it was the last game, I ended up charging right in the opponent's deployment zone and just kind of getting them stationed there and having them to deal with it for a turn. So I actually got an extra turn to move up the rest of my army and just have to deal with this. It's almost like a small little jail. Then what's different about this list compared to the other one, because I still have my 3 Blight Haulers, which have been obviously incredible. Strike 10, AP -2, 3 damage. They're very, very efficient for their points. They're fast, they can fly, and they do a lot of damage, especially with a bunch of rerolls. What I did differently though this list is I actually went more of an MSU style. I actually split up the 6 and went to 3 3s. And a lot of the time, I wanted to get, with 3 3s, 3-man Death Shard with a Lord of Contagion can just do an immense amount of damage. I don't really need the 6 a lot of the time, and sometimes it can just be move blocked. And you're just stuck and trapped with this 6-man blob, and then you're trying to move up the center and moving too slow. So having 3 3-mans, all 6-inch deep strike, you can change the pace of the game and make it go to those later turns and always have threats, and they're always watching their backfield too. So what I did was I added 2 Lord of Contagions. This one here has the enhancement of the extra attack, extra strength, and the dev wounds. And this one's just normal 5 attacks, sustained lance with the unit. So they always equipped to Death Shroud. Then a lot of the time, the 3rd Death Shroud was actually solo. It's 140 points. Sometimes I just wanted it to be a trade piece, and a decent trade piece, but the opponent actually has to commit something to that at 140 points to even take it off the board. And I can just come in on a deep strike, a 6-inch, charge something if I need to. It's not always going to be as potent as the ones with Lord of Contagion, but it is still a threat that they have to deal with. And it gets rid of chaff really easy with its flamers. So there was one game against, when we get into the Knights, they came down and got rid of a Calidus, which was a huge scoring piece for the opponent. And then I still have LOV. A lot of times I actually went solo with them. I would stage out my bloat drones into hiding positions, and then turn 2, if they showed me anything or gave me a little bit or gave me too much, I would deep strike the Lord of Virulence in to at least have a line of sight on something, and then all my blow drones would be shooting at it. And I got way more value out of it being solo and deep striked than I did when it was with Death Shroud previously when I had it in a 6-man. I just found like you put a big target on its head, but now you're separating the targets. Like, do you want to deal with this problem or do you want to deal with this problem? And most of the time to deal with this problem, leaving me having more activations with this, which makes them even better. So that's my list. We'll get into the rounds. Okay, now we'll get into the rounds. Before I get into that, though, I do want to mention how well organized this tournament was. It was fantastic. I had a great time. I got to meet a lot of the TOs, judges that I've always talked to on Discord or talked to messengers and stuff like that. But it was an incredible tournament, a lot of fun, and a long one. It was 3 days. It started on Friday for 3 rounds, Saturday 3 rounds, and then Sunday 2 rounds. So I didn't get much time to enjoy the game con itself, but it wasn't too hot and sweaty in there. It was well organized. We were on time for the most part, except there was a fire alarm, I think in round 7 or something. I can't remember what day it was, but it was good, and I'm looking forward to the next one. But round 1, we got paired into another fellow Albertan, Isaac White, who plays for Trident Gold. Was really happy to get paired into a Trident guy, and it was a really clean game. We talked through stuff. With the Death Guard, it tends to be a bit of an easier matchup just because I can always push them to that 4-up save, and then you just weight of dice them, and having a lot of 3 damage and just higher damage and weight of volume. And also, like, I'm elite and they're elite, and I just have a little bit more pieces than they have, so I can take up more space on the board And what you basically want to try to do is draw out those wardens and try to get them on that field of pain as early as possible to then, okay, they survived. Now we're going to go either to the melee, or we're going to charge them to try to get rid of them because you used in the shooting phase, or you're saving for the assault phase, so let's shoot them up. That's generally the idea with it. You do want to be careful. Make sure you have some good heroic intervenes in place or a good rapid ingress target. Try to get rid of their chaff as early as possible. But I think that's kind of a basic strategy whenever you're going against any army. Just especially elite armies, if you get rid of their chaff, they have less scoring opportunities, and you'll be able to then take care of them on the secondary. Like, they might be able to draw you in primary or even win you on primary, but you're going to win out the secondary game and then take them to the long game where they're going to run out of a lot of their assets. So that was round 1. So I got that one 84-36. Going into round 2, this guy was awesome. Great sport. We had a gas of a time. He was playing Tyranids and Tyranid assimilation. So it had his list was quite the stat check. It had 6 Norns, not 5, 6 Norns, with healing capabilities. Crazy to look at. So I ended up going first. I got a little lucky and I just pox shelled him because we were on a sweeping engagement deployment. So I could go right against the line. I just jammed the poxwalkers, keeping those Norns away from their objectives that they can get, OC 15 or even 30 on there. So I just try to keep them away for a turn, stage them in a bad way. They have to actually, waste an entire turn killing the poxwalkers, and they were just wide out in the open. And then this is where I was telling them when it was my list review, the Plague Marines came out, shot up the far Norn, and then charged the other one and killed both. So I got the 2 Norns out with basically, not one activation, but 2 activations of the Plague Marines, one in the shooting phase, one in the combat phase. And at the same time with that turn, I actually was able to 6-inch deep strike on my own expansive with the Lord of Contagion and the 3 boys, and wiped out another Norn. So I got 3 Norns in one turn on turn 2, and then from the rest, I just kind of gave him his expansive and just push him off primary, or push him off scoring the entire game. Got rid of some chaff with like the Lord of Virulence and everything, and then some of the bloat drones. Just got rid of some of the chaff like the leapers and everything else. So I ended up winning that game 86-43. So 2-0, feeling good. Next one, achievement unlocked here. We ended up going on stream, so you can watch that on the Games Workshop stream. I was against Scary, so another fellow Canadian. I was really looking forward to this. I just had a feeling when I got that I was going to go against him, and I did. And we were on terrain layout 7, playing Purge the Foe, which he loves Purge. You know what? It's actually, is it favorable for me? Is it not? Like, I have a lot of more MSU, but I think the way layout 7 was, and I made a misplay pretty early on, giving him too much space on my side, fearing Lilith a little bit, because I infiltrated up on the 2 objectives and really pushed it, because I knew his list has 2 beast packs and then try to get you in beast pack jail. So I wanted to push the poxwalkers up as much as I can. If I end up going first, I could put him in the jail, and then I'm the one putting the pressure on. Instead, he was able to put a small beast jail into me, but he still got into my back lines and tagged my Rhino. When my Plague Marines had to come out turn 1 to dig myself out of it, shoot off the 1 beast pack, and that trade is kind of awful. And then he had to show me a little bit more assets, but I wasn't able to get ahead. I think, and again, with this misplay, giving too much space, I wasn't able to kill on to a tie or to a kill more. So the game ended up being a little bit back and forth at the beginning, but then I was starting to lose too many assets. Scourges are a hell of an asset in layout 7. They could, go in the terrain, shoot whatever they want, and then scoot back and, hang out and never be shot at. So I ended up losing that game on stream. It was 97-72. It's a great opponent, real fun, great game. And that was my day 1. So then going into day 2, still feeling good. I mean, losing, so going 2-1 day 1, okay, well, now I have to kind of go undefeated for the rest of the game, or rest of the tournament, so we'll see what I can do. The next game was against another ticket holder, another Canadian, Sebastian Hebert. He was playing Blood Angels. I'm quite favoring the Blood Angels. I do like my Space Marine matchups. Anything with armor, just because you know the -1 armor save, or -1 save, it makes it a lot easier to kill. So if they show me any assets, so I can just kind of shoot them off the board, or have a good charge in with some Death Shrouds. And again, like the Death Shroud with the Flamers on infantry power armor, you're still dealing a lot of damage with it. Like, you know, 46 Flamers, effectively AP -1 is going to, you know, delete any kind of MSU or like any kind of JPI. This game was close though. I was drawing crap secondaries for the first couple turns, and he was drawing real good. I was actually behind, and I think I had 3 rounds of challenger cards, which I was able to score. What ended up happening is it was on Terraform, and I was able to like get a few Terraforms off and push on him. And then like the trade outs he did have, he was kind of stuck in his own deployment zone. He wasn't really in mine. So I had most of the board state where eventually I started drawing the good secondaries, and he wasn't drawing any good secondaries. And then he charged with Dante onto a Pythic and a Bloat Drone, and I got a little lucky, and he didn't kill them. So he didn't end up holding the point. Lost him some victory points, and I ended up taking it 92-73. Very, very close. It was right to the end. So the score's not reflective of the game at all. He was ahead. The challenger cards did help me a bit, and then trading out the assets where I needed to trade out got me the game. So good job. The next game, also another great opponent, and quite a high-scoring game. This was a Kroot hunting pack. He was a lot of fun to play. What ended up happening was with Kroot hunting pack, they try to jail you. They all have 5 of Binval infantry, and he has 3 units of 6-man Krootox. So they're just shoving it in your face, and then you have to deal with it. And they're going to try to out-prime you. So the mission was take and hold, and here's what I did. I did not take -1 hit. I know you're thinking -1 hit, because obviously -1 save wouldn't do much. They don't have any armor. They only have invals. I took the -1 OC, -1 leadership, -1 movement. Because if at any point, if he jails me, if he goes first and he jails me and pushes up front, I don't want 20 OC sitting on a point that if I only kill 5, he still out OCs me. I want to be able to out OC him, or at least tie him, and so he's not going to get that primary lead, because that's his main source of the game. And he can't really punch me back much anyways. Plus, they get +1 to hit if I'm even below starting strength, so the -1 hit's not doing much. So I might as well just have the -1 OC. I did end up going first, and I jailed him. I just threw the boxes right in front of him. I made him have to deal with it all, and then he couldn't charge out. And then he had to like kind of stage up again and take a turn to stage up. Do some pilly shots to the Poxwalkers, and whatever survived. Gave me the turn to, all right, this is where I'm going to react. I'm going to react on your expansive with my Plague Marines, and I'm going to react over towards your home objective with my Death Shroud. And both units kind of pushed onto his home objective, and I kind of bubbled around him, around his expansive, where he had to just like kind of stay in this little corner. And I kept the board wide and spread out. And plus with this unit, because they have 2 Vespids, you do want to take up as much space as possible, so they can't just like pick up and drop down wherever and score behind enemy lines, or I guess there's no containment, but like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to like pick them up and like allow them to score. So it still was a high scoring game, just because it was taking hold. So primary is a little easier to score, but it was 100-83, and he had a lot of challengers that kind of kept him in the game too. Okay, so round 6. So this is, normally when tournaments are done. So I would have been 4-1, but now we're going to round 6. So round 6, I went against our boy Benjamin Hauser with Knights. Of course, we got paired up round 6. It's always been a joke on the Saturdays. The last round of Saturday, we always get paired up, which I don't mind. It's a great time. We have a good laugh. You know, it's not so stressful. And then, you know, we can have a beer after. So he's playing his Imperial Knights. This was an interesting one. I used to have a pretty bad Knights matchup, I think, now with the new Death Guard, having Sustain Lance on all the Death Shroud and the Bloat Drones wounding on 4s. It's a lot easier to trade out Armigers and trade out like those trade pieces, or those War Dogs, or whatever, those little tiny Knights. So I think the big turning point was I did make I made way too many 4-ups. He lined up 3 Knights onto my solo Death Shroud squad, like no heroes. I put it down to kill this Calidus, which is pretty cool. right off the board. So I was actually already denying his primary. And then he lined up 3 knights against it. And I just made, I think he did 1 damage to it. With 3 knights shooting at it, he did 1 damage to those 3 death shrouds. So that's not a testament to like, oh, I outskilled it. Like, that was just, I made too many 4-ups. I think there was one point he gave me 6 dice with Canis on my Demon Prince, and I made 5 4-ups, took 9 damage, and made 5 up Feel No Pains, so he only took 4. Like, I got a little lucky. It was still a pretty back and forth game. I think he was able to claw back. Canis is the only piece that was keeping him in the game. At one point, though, his dice got it. He's like, I have to do a big play. He rolled Overwatch with a Warglaive, so the Melta shot, and rolled 2 6s. And then he killed 2 Death Shroud. I was like, oh. But it was a very good game. Obviously, a fun time. And the score ended up at 85-70, so very, very close. So that's day 2. We're feeling good, 5-1. Going into the next round, round 7, against another Calgarian, Bryn. I haven't played him before. I know he's good. He's some Emperor's Children, World Eaters, and he's one of the Evolution guys, and we always jive. We're great. It was always great actually playing against him, but this time he had Leagues of Votan. I feel usually pretty good about Votan, just because I can push their durability kind of away, giving the extra save, lowering their toughness. So their main durability when it comes to like facing other armies, it just doesn't really exist for me. And they also play Fair Warhammer, where I don't think Death Guard necessarily play Fair Warhammer anymore, and I kind of stop what they're doing half the time. Like, say a Hecaton is shooting a Death Shroud, well, I can just -1 damage it. Now you need two free saves to kill 1. Same with Berserks. I can just wait a shot or wait to dice them, and they can't really save, and they just like die to any kind of activation. This one was pretty good though. It did end up pretty close. The bikes are really good. They can kind of pick up anything they see, but I was able to kind of keep the pressure on him. I did him going first on Terraform, but I was able to keep the pressure on him and take over 3/4 of the board for the most of the game, where he was trying to claw back out of it. A little Contagion survived on my point, which helped. Making 4-ups can sometimes just kind of save you, but it was still really, really close game. And it would have been a tie. Yeah, it was 89-84 for me. So that was probably my closest game all weekend. So now we're going into round 8. And round 8 was against Kevin Hamilton. He's one of the Exploding Sixes guys. I've seen him lots in Kelowna. I think he has a golden ticket as well. He's playing Blood Angels, and I do love my Blood Angels. Going against him at least. This game was a bit of a blowout. I ended up going first, and Chaos Spawn charges Vindicator and some JPI, and just like kind of trapping him in his zone. My Poxwalkers all move forward to kind of just create space and create a line. Now he has to either shoot them away, but he still is not moving. So what I would do is I'd move my Poxwalkers to a point where I would pre-measure, like say his Death Cup or his Dante or his Sanguine Guard and the JPI, where they're going to land. So if they're going to land 12 inches away, that's about where I would try to land my Poxwalker, so then he only can move 10 inches with them and not 12, because you stay outside of an inch of him. So if you can push that, then he has to make the charge. Then he's just kind of left out in the open, and then my Bloat Drones can come in and shoot. He made a pretty aggressive play and charged me right in my home. And in this particular matchup, I did have my LOV attached to Death Shroud on the field, just because I wanted the rerolls in Flamers, just because I know he's going to charge me. And that way I have some kind of reaction. It's not always like Deep Strike and 6-inch. I still had 2 of those of 6-inch Deep Strike Death Shroud. But I wanted one if he went first and he just like rushed me, then I would actually have at least some kind of response, at least a decent response in melee with those guys. So I kept them in the field. I ended up, it was a really fun game, but we ended up getting most of the board by turn 3 or 4, and then we called it there. So we scored out. We still played out to round 5, but we were quite quick. And I ended up winning that one 85-31, and that was my tournament. So I finished 7-1. After round 4, they put you in bracket or in pods. So I didn't make the top 16 and after round 4 because I was 3-1. But what I did end up doing is winning the bracket. So I was 17th place overall, But if you look at the record, I was one of the 8 7-1s. So had a great showing at the Open. Had a lot of great players. I mean, just looking at who's won, like a lot of teammates and a lot of Calgarians, a lot of playtesters, and like other Bloodbath Tactics guys, like me, Fraser, Ben, all made top 25. Jake Chalmers, he's a Canadian guy. Stu, he's from BC. Scary, 4th place. He's Canadian, Ontario. We had like a lot. Kieran, Alberta. He's from Edmonton. Anthony Alana, he's here in Calgary. Mass Sector, here in Calgary. What else we got? Matthew Reason, he's Saskatchewan. Brendan McKenzie, BC. Adam Green, Calgary. Scotty B, Edmonton. Ben, Calgary. Like, we had so many Albertans and Canadian players, just even in the top 25, and it felt really, really good at a 250-person event. So it can really showcase what we can do and what the Calgary Meta is all about. So with that, that's my tournament. If you guys do have any questions, feel free to message me. I'm in a lot of other Discords. You generally find me. I'm in the Discussing Resilient Discord. So any Death Guard player, I know you're on there. It's a great resource. Those guys are awesome. I'm on there too. If you want to feel like you want to ask any questions, message me on YouTube or even in the Facebook Death Guard group. I'm there too. Love to answer. Love to help. I've been playing Death Guard for a couple of years now, and they are my main army. So I do love them. And the Codex is in a great spot. It's quite good. It's quite good right now, and it feels good. So let's ride it. Okay. Thanks, guys.